The United States is basically closed for business, leaving citizens jobless, broke, and without any options. We're facing restrictions on movement the likes of which our nation has never seen. The stores that are open have never fully restocked after the panic buying of previous weeks, leading to shelves barren of things like meat, flour, toilet paper, and rice. It's only a matter of time before these issues combine to become the flashpoint that leads to an explosion of civil unrest and violent crime. Let's look at the financial situation. Unemployment has skyrocketed with another 6.6 million claims last week, and the Fed estimates the number to climb to a whopping 47 million due to the health crisis. Many of these jobs may not come back after the sickness has run its course through the nation. Businesses, small and large, are going to be defaulting on their April rent payments, and many simply won't be able to catch up later. Now, here is a quick important message. You may have heard that YouTube revenues have dropped about 50% during these hard and turbulent months. Now, we would ask your help in these hard times. Here at Epic Economist, we are paying for script writing, voiceover, video editing, video footage, and thumbnails. They cost thousands of dollars each month. With your help, however, we can continue to publish fresh economic collapse news daily. Don't think, oh, why should I help? Others will solve this. Look, if everyone thinks this, nothing will happen, will it? Don't believe that your $1 will not help. It will. If everyone helps, it'll work. So look, please click the link below, pick up your card, sign up for Patreon to support Epic Economist. It's only $1 a month. That's all. $1 little dollar for a full month. It only takes a minute for you to sign up, but it helps to keep alive this great community through these extremely difficult times and beyond. We thank you very much. The website is www.patreon.com/Epic Economist. Thank you. So far, a lot of people in the area where I'm staying seems to be treating this break of business like a surprise staycation. Hey, it's nice to see families out working together, playing games, spending time with the people they love. But this happiness may be short-lived. Despite generous government-mandated disaster pay, unemployment, and stimulus checks, the money may not arrive in time for former employees, self-employed people, and gig workers to pay their personal bills. And when the money does arrive, for many folks, it isn't going to be the same amount they were earning before the shutdowns. Most people don't have emergency funds, so things will be dire in short order. Of course, this affects landlords, mortgage companies, utility companies, retail businesses. The list could go on and on. Let's move on to the supply situation. A lot of people are blaming hoarders and preppers for the shortages seen in our stores. Of course, it's nonsense to blame preppers because we've been buying our things over a course of years. And honestly, if it was only panic buyers causing problems, wouldn't the stores be replenished by now? After all, people have hardly been able to shop for 2 weeks in many states due to social distancing measures. In reality, there are major issues with the supply chain, a problem many folks aren't seeing because they're not at the store. Distribution systems are breaking down. A source at the Walmart superstore recently confided to us that the trucks were only delivering a fraction of the items needed to restock shelves. Imports are just not arriving in California ports, at least not anywhere close to the degree they were before. And because more people are eating at home than ever before, the demand on grocery stores has increased dramatically. This also comes at a time after farmers have been driven out of business by the trade war. We have actual shortages here, and it isn't just due to panic buying. That only exposed the dangers of the just-in-time delivery philosophy used by retailers. Some folks are reporting that the shelves in their areas are full, but many others are reporting the exact opposite. Restrictions on movement. The third worrisome factor is extreme restrictions on movement. Never in my lifetime have I witnessed such a thing in the United States as we're seeing now. Texas and Florida have checkpoints. They're testing travelers for health problems, escorting them to quarantine, or simply turning them away. Rhode Island police went so far as to go door to door with the National Guard, searching for New Yorkers who had fled the sickness in their home state. Most states have closed non-essential businesses and schools for the foreseeable future. Local authorities are beginning to crack down on groups of people, and innocent Americans risk being questioned when they leave their homes to walk the dog or go to the store. Last week, thousands of Americans considered essential workers were given travel papers to show the authorities if they're stopped when they are going to work. If you can't satisfy the requirements laid out by your state or local government, you could face fines and even misdemeanor charges for breaking stay-at-home orders. Add to all of that, police officers are getting sick. Hundreds of NYPD and Detroit police officers have tested positive. Some places like Cincinnati are limiting in-person police responses to crimes to reduce unnecessary contact between officers and the public to reduce the spread. A spokesperson said Cincinnati police officers will no longer respond in person to the following reports: criminal damage, dog bites, lost property, lost or stolen license plates, phone harassment, property damage, or found property. Police will no longer respond to assault reports unless the suspect is still present or the victim requires medical attention. Breaking and entering reports unless the suspect is still present. Menacing reports unless suspect is expected or threatens to return or is part of the elements of domestic violence. Or theft reports where there is no possibility of immediate apprehension. So, how long before officers just stop coming into work and instead stay home to take care of their families? And come on, can you blame them if they do? Other countries are seeing civil unrest. The lockdowns are resulting in violence in other countries. Italy has begun to see chaos. People there are running out of food, money, and patience. Videos are appearing on social media of people struggling to cope with the effects of the lockdown. And Palermo, Sicily, police have been forced to head to supermarkets after reports of people stealing food to feed themselves. Groups have appeared in recent days looking to organize raids on supermarkets. A video has been widely shared around Italy showing a father beside his young daughter who's eating a solitary slice of bread, telling the Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte, "We've already been inside for 15 to 20 days. We are at our limit. Just like my daughter, other children in a few days won't be able to eat this slice of bread. Rest assured you will regret this because we are going to have a revolution." It isn't just an Italian problem. As soon as restrictions were partially lifted in China, citizens began to riot, beating police with their own shields and overturning police cars. This could be the perfect storm. It's only a matter of time before the factors above combine to create the perfect conditions for widespread civil unrest and crime. When Kat Ellis wrote her book about surviving this pandemic, there's a reason she included detailed information about securing your property and preparing for potential assaults on your home or retreat. You've got your supplies, now you need to focus on defensive planning. And if you think that's far-fetched, then why are retailers across the country boarding up their windows? Zero Hedge reports. In Beverly Hills, the Pottery Barn and West Elm stores near Rodeo Drive were spotted with boards across their windows, according to TMZ. Meanwhile, stores in New York, San Francisco, Seattle, Chicago, Paris, Vancouver, elsewhere similarly boarded up. I suspect it isn't just luxury stores that need to get prepared. The rest of us need to be ready too. Many people in the preparedness community have noticed with discomfort the increasing number of people saying, "I'll just come to your house," or "It's not fair that selfish preppers have all this stuff and they're refusing to share." Many of us have been asked by friends, neighbors, and family members if we can spare some toilet paper or hand sanitizer. The people who suspect you may have food will show up at your door one of these days when they run out of food. First, they'll come asking for it, then they'll come demanding it. And it's not just from you, but also from local businesses. The ensuing theft and violence will lead to harsher crackdowns from law enforcement and vigilante justices as people stand up to defend their homes and their businesses. And if you think the Constitution is being trampled now, hold on to your halo. Eventually, this will lead straight to martial law and totalitarianism, the likes of which we've never seen in our country. Don't think for a second that it won't happen here. People are not gonna quietly stay home and watch as their families starve to death. What happens when people start running out of the food they hurriedly purchased before the lockdowns? What happens when overloaded unemployment offices are unable to get people's payments to them in a timely fashion? What happens when the stimulus checks haven't arrived yet and there's no money in people's wallets for groceries? What happens when stores aren't able to replenish enough to keep people fed? I think anyone who's been in the preparedness world knows exactly what's going to happen. Anger, violence, looting. Uncontrollable hordes of people storming stores. Sort of like every Black Friday. Except this time, people won't just want inexpensive bath towels and television sets. They'll want food to keep their families from starving to death. And they'll be willing to take down anyone who gets in their way. Whether that's a parent defending the supply they've carefully acquired to take care of their own children, or a store security guard, it won't matter to those who have not prepared for this. You know, every year I show video clips in the Black Friday Hall of Shame, and every year I write, if they'll act like this over home linens, what happens when those same people are hungry? This may be the year that we find out what happens.